Hi, thanks for tuning in. This is my end of summer presentation for the management and internship class. My name is Kate Sigler, and this summer I interned at Cisco Foods in the indirect sourcing department. So I first applied for the internship on Handshake. I submitted a resume and additionally filled out some additional fields. And about a week later, I got a call back from Cisco saying that I got an interview, and I interviewed on campus with Steve Lackner, who's the senior director of the strategic sourcing department and my current senior director. And about 2 weeks later, I heard back that I had made it to the second round, where I had a phone interview with Molly Sato and Ashley Sturdivant, who work in the indirect sourcing department specifically. And a few hours after I had that interview, I heard back from Gail Hines, the HR recruiter, that I had received the position, and I had about 3 days to decide if I wanted to take it or not. And obviously, ultimately, I did accept the position for a few different reasons. First, I liked that it was a Fortune 500 company. I think that starting at a company like that gives you a good playing ground to advance your career later, and having a company like Cisco on your resume definitely looks good for any future job I was trying to get. Additionally, I liked that the indirect sourcing position both used my economic skills, the analytics I had learned in that, but also my management skills I learned. I would be managing projects and hopefully eventually a team if I kept on in procurement, and I really liked that aspect of it as well. And then it's also the first company I received an offer from, and I only had 3 days to decide, but I had heard great things about the culture. I liked how big the company was, so I decided to go for it, and it was definitely the right decision. So Cisco is a food distribution company, so it provides both food and non-food products for restaurants, hospitals, nursing homes, etc. So food products is going to be anything from a really nice steak to a straw, and it's going to source both of those things. The industry is really large and very fragmented. So there are over 16,000 companies in the industry, and Cisco controls about 18% of that industry. So although they are the biggest player, they still have a lot of growth to do in order to really become a monopoly in that field. So Cisco is the largest broadline food distribution company in the world. It's a multinational company operating in the United States, Canada, Europe, and parts of Central America. So it's very large and has a very large break, and recently they acquired the Breaks Group, which really put them on the map in that European market. The revenue last fiscal year was about $55 billion. That sets us at about, I think, 50 on the Fortune 500 list, so it is a relatively large company. And it actually was founded by someone who went to Baylor, John F. Baugh. After World War II, saw how people started to eat out more than eat in, and saw that there was great opportunity for one distributor to supply every good that this booming restaurant business needed, and obviously it worked because now it is the largest food distribution company within the United States. So my primary role in the internship was to conduct an RFP, which is a request for proposal. So I sent out this RFP to over 10 companies, or to over 15 companies, and I received 10 responses, and it covered 18 Cisco sites out of our 127 sites. However, currently I'm working on a national RFP to bid out all of our vending services business, and that will be sent out probably before I leave in the next 2 weeks, and then the results will be received obviously after my internship ends. So the goals of the RFP were first to provide quality vending services products to our Cisco distribution centers. So currently there was just a wide range of different products offered, and we saw that both from a financial standpoint and an employee benefit standpoint we could improve this. Additionally, we wanted some sort of value added or rebate program added to Cisco. We saw that it was over a $4.5 million sourcing category, and we definitely thought that from the vendors we could get back some of that revenue that they were making off the goods that they were selling in our opcos. So there's a financial benefit and an employee benefit to this project. First of all, with the financial benefit, We saw a $250,000 signing bonus offered from Canteen, one of the vendors who responded to the RFP, and an additional 5% rebate on all vending sites, which would be about $38,000 annually for the total of those 18 sites. So that's obviously a big financial benefit to Cisco. And then we also saw a $74,000 rebate offered by American Food and Vending, which is also great, but they can only service those 10 locations. So if we were to expand it nationally, Canteen might give us that best financial offer, and the signing bonus and additionally the rebate amount might increase if we add in the additional 100 plus sites that we could give them as business. There was also an employee benefit to this project. So first of all, with Canteen Micro Markets, which are basically open concept vending services that can provide not only snacks and drinks, but also meals, could be supplied to all of the different opcos, which is definitely a big win, not only from an employee standpoint, but also a company standpoint, and that keeping your employees on campus for lunch greatly improves productivity. Additionally, 50% of the options in these micro markets could be healthy under this new RFP, which is definitely a win in that Cisco really does care about their employees' health, and from HR right now, we see a big push that they do care about the health, so this definitely was a win. And then also all employees in the South Market can now gain access to clean and technologically advanced vending services. So what I really liked about this internship was the RFP process. I think it engaged both a lot of my hard and my soft skills, and sending out RFPs and negotiating is definitely something that I'm passionate about in a future career. I also really liked the data analysis I was able to do. I didn't only do data analysis for the vending services project, but I also worked on about 5 other projects where I really got into the data and made these numbers into actual information. I also really enjoyed the networking I got to do at Cisco. I met a lot of professionals who taught me a lot about what they do, what they like about Cisco, and also definitely will be helpful in any future career. And then I also really loved my team. I love my boss. I love the different people on my team. I think that they're all really smart, and I think that we clicked well professionally. What I didn't like about this internship was the heavy data collection that I was tasked with doing. I had to collect data for over 120 different distribution centers for multiple sourcing categories, and it was just a lot of communication and a lot of keeping track of information. And then, yeah, that communication with those 127 distribution centers, I really liked it because it gave us a broad, basically bulk to source with, which gives us better discounts, but it was also just very hard to communicate with all of these people, and like I said, I did this over and over again, which was a little bit difficult at times. So my strengths and weaknesses that I really identified with during this internship. So I think one of my strengths is communication, and I sent out all of those emails to those 127 different opcos, which really improved this skill, and I really saw that I can communicate clearly and effectively. I also saw that one of my strengths was analytics. I love to dig into the data and make sense of it, and I also love to work out problems and find the best cost savings and analyze how much in savings we'll actually get because of a program. So I got to do this through the RFP process as well. And then I also really engaged my problem solving and critical thinking skills, which I definitely think is a strong aspect of what I'm good at. I think I can easily identify a problem, but then also come up with solutions to that problem. Some of my weaknesses I identified within this internship is that I really will hastily ask a question before identifying completely what's going on, gathering all the information, and then asking the question. So I definitely think that this is something that I can improve on by first collecting all of the information and then asking the question. But I think that this also plays to another one of my weaknesses, is that I really like to keep things moving and to keep a project going, but sometimes I just need to stop and allow just time in order to sort things out, which I think can come with me starting to gather all information perfecting something and then sending it out. I also saw one of my weaknesses actually to be networking. It's not natural for me to reach out to someone or ask for a meeting with someone, but I think my boss has been really good in helping set up these meetings for me, and then I just have to walk in and ask questions. And I think in the future I can be more bold to reach out to people and just understand that people who have advanced in their career want to help young professionals, and just gaining a better understanding of this I think will help me improve in that skill. So as far as professional achievements go, I think networking is something that I did grow in this summer. I met with the logistics, supply chain, finance, and marketing teams and different people on those teams, and I really did grow in my networking, and I met a lot of professionals who for sure will be helpful in any future career. I also grew in my ability to perform an RFP, and I grew in the entire process and what that entails, and I think that that's an incredibly useful skill for any future career. I also grew in data analytics. I really did dive into the data and analyze it in a lot of different ways, and I think that that will be a big win for any future career as well. And then I also did grow in my communication skills, both hard and soft, through engaging in different meetings with vice presidents, performing conference calls, presenting to high-up VPs and EVPs, and also just the daily communication with not only my coworkers but different suppliers and the distribution centers. So I think that a lot of what I did in this internship I had learned in the business school. I would say that I think Baylor could maybe improve in its data analytics teachings, teaching us how to more usefully use Excel and Tableau, and then also taking large data banks and breaking them down into other information. I used a lot of pivot tables and VLOOKUPs this summer, and I think that that's something specifically that Baylor could focus on. I also just think that I know we take the 1101 class, but pushing office and professional culture in those classes and maybe even giving us some sort of an inside look into what this culture looks like would be very helpful as well. I also think that salary and benefits negotiation is something that can be included in that 1101 class in order to teach us how much we should be making when we graduate, how we can negotiate for higher rates, and also what our benefits should look like and what we should choose as a health insurance plan or a vision and dental plan, because without asking my parents or my mentor at my job, some of these things I just wouldn't know what to do. And then I also just think introducing us to the RFP process, I think it's big across any business, and I wasn't familiar with the RFP process at all before coming into this. And I know Baylor offers a procurement class, but I think touching on that in one of those entry-level business classes could be something that greatly benefits your students. So at the end of the day, I was offered a job with Cisco. I would start in January 2019, right after I graduate, and my position would be an indirect sourcing analyst. So I'd be doing a lot of the same things I would be doing now. I'd probably get a few more spend categories, and then in 1 to 2 years, the goal would be to move me towards a category management position. And I am planning on accepting the offer, mostly because of the company culture. I love Cisco. I love where I work. I want to continue working there. I also love procurement. I think it's a great career path to go down, and I think it's something that uses what I'm naturally good at, but then also gives me a lot of room to grow in my negotiation and analytics skills. And then I also love my team. I love my boss. I love my director. I love the other people I'm working with. And from what I've heard with people, it's very important to love the people you work with because they really can make or break a job. I also think that my boss has provided a lot of room for growth with me, and I think that she would continue to do that if I went on full time. So for those reasons, I think I will continue my career with Cisco, and I've loved this summer. I love the opportunity and would recommend this internship to anyone who's interested in working in supply chain.